Scary websites that you should never visit, part 1. Coming in at number 1, we have 1092paradise.com. When you first visit this website, you'll see 2 doors. But if you scroll all the way down and click on this door, it'll take you to a cursed audio with a demon.
I'm not
Look
scared
at
of
the cat
demons.
in the bottom right-hand corner. It's like he disappeared.
What? That cat just flew away. I don't know where, but...
What do you think?
Very strange indeed. This is a footage of my mother's backyard. We did not alter this. Someone please explain. Okay, there was a demon and it's just gone now.
Things you wouldn't believe unless they were caught on camera. This one's kind of trippy. Okay guys, so this man is trying to get through one of these little turnstile things. The bar looks like he gets caught up on it, but I slow it down. The bar literally goes through his entire leg. I cannot explain this. I hope one of you out there can, because this is crazy. Follow for more.
This may be one of the creepiest statues I've ever seen. Hidden far away in the Holy Trinity Church in Marylebone, Westminster, lies a statue of Lucifer, and this church hasn't even been used for worship in over 45 years, so it just sits there waiting to be seen. This oily black statue is insanely creepy. It is made out of concrete, aluminum, and other things, but why is it located inside of a church?
Yes,
and no offense to Paul Fryer, but this is just one of those things that if you were walking through an abandoned building and you saw moonlight coming from the window and shining on this hanging from the ceiling, you would run away screaming, me included. So yeah, a statue depicting a fallen angel with all these wires and cables tangled up in it with a gruesome figure attached to the end of it is insanely creepy. At least in my books, it is.
This old lady killed so many people. Baba Anushka, she loved chemistry. And when her husband died, she was like, I'm gonna make the house into a laboratory and sell potions. So a bunch of girls came to her and they were like, we don't want our husbands to go to war. And she was like, I can make them really, really sick so they don't have to. And they were like, yeah, do that. So she started getting really, really popular. But then all the girls were like, we actually don't like our husbands. Can you do a little more? And Baba Anushka was like, yeah, I can kill them. So then all the girls were like, oh, we like this. So Baba Anushka made these deadly potions, gave them to the girls gave them to their abusive husbands, and they were dead in like 8 days. And Baba Anushka would do this thing where she'd ask the girls, how heavy is the problem? Which was code for, how heavy is your husband? Because I gotta make sure I put enough in it, mama. She was so successful that she hired a sales agent to go into town and like sniff out people with marital problems. But this one girl fucked it all up. After she killed her shitty husband, she used another potion to kill her new husband's rich uncle. And the police were like, can you explain this? And she was like, it was Baba Anushka. Baba Anushka was like, are you fucking kidding me? But she ended up getting out of jail and then living to 100.
This is why you should be careful what you put in the mail. In 2015, a man was asked by his neighbor to collect his mail while he was gone for a few weeks. A few days later, a large package arrives on his neighbor's front porch. The man can barely lift it, but gets over to his garage where he accidentally drops it and hears something break inside. Hoping his neighbor would think the damage occurred en route, he closes his squeaky garage door and forgets about it. But over the next couple of days, whatever was in that package started to smell so bad that he decides to open it up.
Wow.
Inside were two very important finds: his neighbor, who was dead, and a camera that was still recording. The police bring the man in for questioning and show him what was on the camera inside the box. It starts with his neighbor talking to the camera about how excited he is to mail himself home for his YouTube channel. Then, police fast forward to the very end where they see that the neighbor is now sleeping in the box, and then suddenly gets dropped and you hear a crack. And that's his neck breaking. And then you hear a squeaky garage door close.
This is a Dybbuk. You might recognize it from this video that surfaced in 2018 of Post Malone touching it inside of Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. And most of us know that didn't end well. But what is a Dybbuk, and why is it considered the most haunted item in the world?
I don't know what
the Dybbuk is a wine box that was purchased in 2001 by an American man at an estate sale in Spain. When the man learned that the item was a family heirloom, he offered to return it to the family, but they insisted that he keep it. The box was purchased by the family's grandmother after the Holocaust had ended, but it sat unopened inside of her sewing room because the grandmother was convinced a Dybbuk was inside of it. Dybbuk is a demon that has the ability to possess different items. When the American man brought the box home, he opened it up, and this is what was inside. Inside the box, there were 2 locks of hair, a single candle holder, 2 pennies from the 1920s, and a small statue with the Hebrew word peace inscribed. Like for part 2.
Reacting to the scariest TikTok accounts, part 1. Today we're going to be talking about an account known as Sitting and Smiling. The username is literally exactly what it sounds like. This girl does nothing other than sit and smile. It's about to get really creepy, so let's go ahead and take a look at it.
I just sit and smile. Oh my goodness. And I'm not possessed by demons.
The crazy thing is her videos have an abnormal amount of views. I mean, look how many. 8 million, 8 million, 4 million,
wow,
I mean, a ton.
I need to do
her
that.
latest video was posted on 4/18/2020.
Really
Why would somebody quit when they have that amount of views? The weird thing is her bio used to say, "I'm not kidnapped." And her bio changed. And I found her Instagram account, and it gets even weirder. She hasn't posted in over 40 weeks, and she posted this video of a butterfly. And I guess a bunch of her fans are saying MK Ultra. And do you know what MK Ultra is? MK Ultra was a top secret CIA project that gathered information with psychological torture. Also, click link in my bio to watch my latest YouTube video.
I'm not tortured. I'm just naturally smile. So don't worry about me at least.
It's a rather odd phenomenon that they call the death crown. When a family member passed, you had to launder all the linens from the deathbed, and occasionally people would discover hard lumps in the pillow of the deceased. Inside, they would find an intricately woven wreath of feathers. Now, this wreath wasn't
looks
woven
like a
by
rose.
humans,
It
but
kind of
occurred
like
naturally,
it.
or supernaturally, if you take the folklore as true. It's said that if a death crown was found in the pillow of a loved one, especially someone that hadn't been the most upstanding person in life, it was an auspicious sign that their sins had been absolved and that they had made it through the pearly gates of heaven. They are so revered in Southern culture that families did and still do pass them down in glass cases as precious family relics. If you're interested in seeing one in person, the Museum of Appalachia in Norris, Tennessee has several genuine death crowns on display. Plus, the rest of the museum is pretty fun too.
Strange.
I've gotten so many requests to do the scariest places from each state, so let's start with my state, North Carolina. There's a spot in the woods in Bear Creek, North Carolina where all the locals are terrified to go. It's a perfect circle right in the center of the woods
already
where
terrified
nothing
by her
grows.
makeup.
This is it right here. No grass, no weeds, nothing grows in this circle. It's called the Devil's Tramping Ground. Legend has it that the devil comes up from the underworld at night and he tramps around this circle surrounded by flames, thinking of different ideas to torture humanity. People who visited this circle say that they hear screams in the distance, and people who tried to spend the night in the circle say that they've woken up miles away still in their sleeping bags. Others claim that when they visit the Devil's Tramping Ground, they feel a sense of dread. Another theory is that this is the site where a UFO touched down on Earth. So what do you guys think? Do you believe the legend?
Some facts you didn't know, part 4. What happens to your eyeballs after you die? Within the first few hours, they begin to flatten and deflate, kinda like an old nasty grape. During preparation, morticians will place these eye caps under your eyelids. This is to recreate the natural curvature of your eye. And in some cases, embalming fluid will actually fill your eye back to normal size.
This is why you always say yes to tandoori chicken. In 2012, a high school tutor and her student stayed up so late one night studying that by the time they were done, the buses had stopped running. Without another way home, the student asked if he could stay the night at her place. Reluctantly, she agreed. When they got back to the apartment, she fell asleep on her bed and he fell asleep on a blanket next to her bed on the ground. A few hours later, she wakes up to the boy standing awkwardly in the middle of the room with a very strange look on his face. She asks him, "What's wrong?" He looks at her and says, "I'm really hungry. Let's go get some tandoori chicken." Confused, she says, "It's 2 a.m. Just get a snack in the cupboard." And he grabs her by the arm and he says, "No, we are getting tandoori chicken right now." And he yanks her from the bed. Feeling totally caught off guard by this whole situation, she goes into the hall with the boy, and as soon as the door shuts behind them, she can tell that he is terrified. He looks at her and just says, "I'm not actually hungry. When I woke up, there was someone under your bed."
Disturbing dark web stories that actually happen.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is the story of the Cannibal Cafe, and it's going to be done all in one part, so keep up. The Cannibal Cafe was a forum page in 2001 that was dedicated to finding cannibals their next meal. The website has since been taken down, but I was able to use a tool called the Wayback Machine to find you the actual website. The two people would chat with one another and discuss on how they wanted to be eaten. Everything changed when a man named Armand Maiwas posted an advertisement seeking a well-built man 18 to 30 who would like to be eaten by me. To his surprise, a man named Bern Brandis responded to the advertisement extremely interested. The two exchanged conversations with one another until both of them agreed to meet up with each other and allow both of their fantasies to come true. On March 9, 2001, they both met up with each other at Armand's house. Upon entering the house, there was candles lit from every corner of the house. Think of it as almost some sort of romantic set. Armand Maiwas escorted Burns to the bathtub where the sacrifice would take place, but not before setting up video cameras capturing capturing the entire thing. For hours, Armin Mai was cut and consumed as much meat from burned as he possibly could, all while Burned was alive. Once Burned was dead, Armin then stored the rest of the meat inside of the freezer. 10 months later, Armin was arrested and is doing life in prison in Germany. Majority of the details I shared are too graphic for TikTok, but I'm gonna be posting a full YouTube video on this tomorrow, capturing every single detail. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube, Austin Bro, so you don't miss it. If you guys enjoyed this story, please make sure to click that like and follow button. I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.
Don't listen.
Have you ever wanted to stay in a haunted Airbnb? Well, now you can. This is an old doctor's house on the grounds of a lunatic asylum that I'm staying in tonight. Here's a shot of the actual asylum that's right outside my door. It's called Central State Hospital. It's crazy. This house was inhabited by somebody that worked at the asylum back in the day. It's filled with photos of the building, and let me tell you, just being in there right now when I checked in, it's super, super creepy. Even when I was filming this TikTok, my father was outside bringing some bags in, and I heard some movement downstairs and yelled out his name saying, "Jeff?" And nobody responded. So yeah, you can see the asylum grounds from outside the windows. There are over 25,000 patients from the lunatic asylum that are buried here on the grounds of Central State Hospital. Most of them do not have names on their gravestones because they are lost in burial plots that they don't know where they exist. And also, here's a shot of the extremely creepy asylum building right outside my window.
It's just okay. Nothing gonna happen.
Is there anybody here with me?
We are almost here.
It's just me and you.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. Anybody there? God. Some creature gonna jump.
Anybody in there?
I need to see that. It's like urban exploration. But you've got no demon or anything because there's nothing.
Is there anybody in any of these buildings?
I wouldn't go there alone, absolutely.
My name's
not.
Colin.
Hey, I was him, I was God.
Can you scream at me? Come out of the building? Come reach your arm at me? Did you die here?
He's calling for somebody who's dead. Shows they're dead. They cannot reply anymore.
You trapped in here?
No, they're not trapped. There's no one. It's abandoned. How silly he is. Oh my gosh. But he's
you guys tell me if
like
you heard anything in that or saw anything.
Zombies.
So I'm ready to get this off my face.